What's going on, people? It's the homie one and only Ashton Reynolds. Episode 3 of Pianos and Prayer. I know you like, Ashton, you're not sitting at the pianos right now. But, I call it Pianos and Prayer because it's always near me. So, it's always on me. Things like that. I'm sitting right here at the computer just going back over the old music, things like that because, man, it's where it started. I'm constantly and forever grateful for the place that I'm in. I tried to post this earlier, but due to some technical difficulties and things like that, it just didn't pan out. But it's all right because all things work for our good. Pianos and Prayer, for those who are just tuning in, this is allowing me to be as transparent as they come. I'm very transparent when it comes to telling my life story, when it comes to me giving my perspective on things that dealt with me. Because I know I'm accountable for a lot of things. I'm accountable for the purpose that God instilled in my life. And most importantly, I'm accountable for the works that I do because when I put my name on it, then it has to represent excellence. Otherwise, it's a failure in my eyes. So, the first episode of Pianos and Prayer, I talked about my musical influence, where it came from. Of course, it came from my father. Second one, I talked about the first project that I put out, which was 2 Keyboards and 1,000 Problems. I touched on the other things, touched on the other projects, but I'm going to go in depth with it with Heartbreak Cruising. Right now, what I'm doing is I'm sitting at the computer, and as I'm sitting here in the computer, and I was just sitting here thinking about how everything is panned out as far as Pianos and Prayer, and how things have panned out as far as Blessed Coast, and how things have panned out as far as my business relationships. I'm actually where I'm supposed to be. And the way that I got here was the most unconventional way. Basically, it was trial and error. See, I told you my mother passed away, and prior to that, I would have been a college graduate and all of that stuff. But due to the fact that my mother was an entrepreneur, I was able to learn a lot of things. And the things that I've learned as a result of experiencing her go through the ups and downs of being an entrepreneur, had let me know if I was built for this or not. And quite frankly, I am, because there's nothing that you can really give me that I feel like I can't handle. I know a lot of people wondering, why you ain't playing the keys? You normally start off by playing the keys. Well, I just wanted to be a little bit more transparent on this episode of Pianos and Prayer because April 6th is around the corner. And April 6th is when I'm going to drop Me, the Musical Experience, which is actually my debut. Because I told my story. I kind of told, it was therapy. I was able to relieve some stress that was going on in my mind. And 2 Keyboards was the first start. I battle rapped, of course I did. I battle rapped 83 times, haven't lost. And I battle rapped people around the world, from different nationalities, from different hoods, from different sets, from different gangs, from male, female, didn't matter. They all got it. Yeah. And so it was something that was very fun. It was something that I really loved doing. It was something that I enjoyed doing. But at the same time, I knew that I wanted to take it further. And as a result of me wanting to take it further, I felt it was imperative that I get a business structure. And what I did was I started it off with the name AANT. AANT started off actually with me being a comedian, which is why in my earlier works, although it was raw and authentic, it was also full of comedy. It was allowing me to make light of certain situations in my life that was actually the darkest times, which is actually brought a lot of joy. I'm going to put on some music right quick, put on some instrumentals to play during this time, play softly in the background, and it's going to play, it's going to cater to the keyboard effect, so everything got pianos in it. So, yeah, that's exactly what happened, man. A lot of laughter, a lot of content creating. It was a lot of joy during the dark moments, and it was then that I found out exactly what I wanted to do. So what I did was I took those rapping habits and I was like, instead of doing this for free, why don't I just go ahead and put out a free project, use these pianos here, I used all of this. I actually unplugged it. But I use these keyboards to actually speak the pain that I was feeling inside of my heart. Like I was played them in the dark keys. Those who know, you use the key of G, and you can create some dark tunes. And who would have thought that that would start off a 5-star rated project run for me? And man, it was awesome. Heartbreak Cruising. It's a little more lighthearted than Two Keyboards and 1,000 Problems, but the thing is, it's still raw. So I always maintained that raw edge because I felt like if I couldn't be myself, then there's no need to do it. And as a result of me being myself, I felt like it was imperative that I told my story the way that it was supposed to be told during that moment in my life. And so me being 25, I'm not the same guy that I was at 18. I still have that same aggression when I'm attacking certain things business-wise. I still got that. But one thing that I don't have is that anger that I harbored inside of my heart because God came in, intervened, and now I start representing Him in the things that I do. I am not ashamed of the old music. I love the old music because during that time period, it was how I felt. It was very raw. It was very authentic. And I say raw because the language was something that was like, you know, they were like, yo, you a minister? You rapping like that? Yes. Some of my best work came out of that in my eyes. But me, the musical experience is something that's going to actually, you know, take this thing to a whole nother level. This is where my Christ-like living met the raw, authentic Ashton from back then, and you see me manifest in front of you. So you basically see the greater come out, and that's what I'm so proud of when it comes to this project here. Without that project, man, without this one right here, without that manifestation, I don't know exactly where I would be right now, because it was something that was definitely needed. And it's something that I'm completely and truly thankful for. And it was very, very much so needed. And it was very therapeutic for the time. Like I said, it was full of laughter. It was full of joy. It was full of figuring out a lot of things. Figuring out who I am. It was figuring out how can I get this to happen? How can I connect this dot? How can I connect that dot? And as a result, this came about. The businessman that you see now, 25 years old. I'm sitting in my office right now. And for me to actually have an office and have a wonderful team around me that not only believes in me, but allows me to, you know, take what it is that I do and, you know, stretch it far beyond what I could even see. By instilling resources, by instilling knowledge, by instilling opportunity, by instilling prayers, because we are all a ministry. To be able to get to this point here is just something magnificent. So Heartbreak Cruising was the second project that came after Two Keyboards and 1,000 Problems. And it's a 10-track project, and after riding the success of Two Keyboards and 1,000 Problems, I was just like, yo, I'm just going to drop something that's celebratory. You know, there's really no meaning behind it. The only meaning is, yo, my life is getting better, but there's still heartbreak there, so I'm just going to ride this thing out. That's pretty much what I was saying. 10-track project, like I said, I made music according to how I feel and according to what I see. So what I had first saw was the ending credits of Scarface, and what that did for me was actually gave me a sense of direction as far as where I wanted it to go. So I used that 80s theme and then connected that to a dark meaning because of the trials and tribulation of life. It can present one thing one way and also teach you some lessons. So when you come out of it, you can be like, yo, I know what that side was like, but I'm going to enjoy this side. And since I now have the tools to prevent me from going back that way, I ain't going back there no more. That's what that did. And it was such a wonderful feeling, man. It was a sense of fulfillment. And as a result of it being giving me a sense of fulfillment, man, it was just like a breath of fresh air. And after Heartbreak Cruising came Rich Dollar vs. Tisha. Rich Dollar vs. Tisha was this love story between my old rap name, Rich Dollar. It was Stackster Rich Dollar. And I just made up a fictitious character by the name of Tisha, who we went with. And it was a 3-part series, and it's supposed to be a part 4. And people have been hitting me up saying I should continue it. And I will give you a part 4. I'll give a part 4. I might actually continue it. Like the first 3 parts are actually raw, but I can still play along the storylines and things like that. I can still make it come back and still connect, because actually I feel like I can make it better than how it was. I can actually feel like I can enhance it as a result of me getting better and becoming better and knowing more and learning more. I feel like I could do a whole lot more with that series. So it's a 3-part series. It was very fun to make. I received a lot of flack from it. During this course, I was also putting out funny freestyles. I was putting out parodies. I was putting out all this stuff, all this content, see? And a lot of people remember me from back then. So when you incorporate that to now, the way I don't lose that authenticity is because the word of God has always been inside of my music. So as a result of it being inside of my music, still it doesn't seem like, Acid jumped from one end to another end. He didn't go from one extreme to another. Instead, what you just saw was a transformation. So it's like you went along for the ride. And as a result of going along for the ride, it got me here. But, I'm just so thankful, man. I'm in a season of Thanksgiving. I'm as transparent as it comes. I can't say enough how much I'm thankful for everybody who truly support the vision, for those who have contributed to the vision, and most importantly for those who have continued to show love. Indeed, there are times where people help me out with money. They help me out, and I paid some back. Still got 2 more that I got to pay back. And, they already know who they are. So, yeah, that's what it is, man. I've been evicted before. I've lost a car before. I know what that's like. I've lost my mother, so I can't get that back. But everything else I can get back and handle. But even then, man, I'm just thankful for where I'm at now. The peace that I have, because that has no price tag on it. This is Pianos and Prayer. As you can see, I didn't play no keys. Also, the way that the show is going to go is Mondays through Fridays, you're going to get Pianos and Prayer. Monday through Thursday, of course, I'm going to be behind the keys. But Friday, I'm going to talk to you with the beats playing in the background. Because, I'm going to offer up a different flavor. Give you some hip-hop. Might freestyle on Fridays, I don't know. But, you know what? I think I might do that. I might freestyle with the beats in the background. But expect the new music. Be ready for the new project that's coming out April 6th. My business partners, we got books coming out. We got online stores. Shout out to Reba Jackson. We got our online store. I need for y'all to go out there and check her out. She's not only just a dope entrepreneur, dope author, but she's also a woman that's on a mission to making this world a better place, as we all are. Shout out to Latasha Peel. Got a book coming out called One in Hands. You definitely want to read that, get that, because that's a series. It's going to be a series that's going to, ruffle some feathers, but at the same time set a lot of people free. Shout out to my girlfriend, Kaya. She's a personal trainer. To Kaya Wills. Y'all look her up. Y'all go ahead and get y'all bodies right if you want to get it right. Shout out to Dwayne Jackson. He's a comedian, man. One of the funniest brothers that I know. Be on the lookout for what's to come. You already know my music project's coming out. Shout out to 273 Records. Willow, he got a project coming out. Working on a lot of things. There's a lot of stuff that's coming about. So, all I can say is be ready for what's to come. This is Pianos and Prayers with the homie one and only Ashton Reynolds. Like I said, I didn't play the keys right now, but I got some smooth music in the background as I talk to you. And yeah, y'all continue to follow. Like I said, Monday through Friday, I'll definitely be doing this. But also, on Fridays, I'll be talking to you like this, as candid as possible. Where it's just me and you, mono or womano. I don't know. I don't know where I was going with that one. But, we're going to have some smooth tunes. I might freestyle. But be on the lookout for the new music. Be on the lookout for all the content. It's like I said, I got the television shows coming. The radio's coming back. All of this stuff's coming back. New music, the whole nine, man. So, y'all just be on the lookout, because it's going to be something that's major. So, for y'all to recap the week on what I did with Pianos and Prayers, I'm going to put up the YouTube. And also, you'll have performance links, interviews. So when I put up the YouTube link, you all support. That's all I need. All right, y'all. I'm out.